of engaging and trying to flank these forces inside. That would be a fairly good job. Now, almost nothing left but these stasis tanks. Some tanks on stasis, and I think they should be able to get cleaned up pretty quickly, but no, they're actually still in place. Even more tanks coming in off of Frozean. JangBi in such a huge trouble here, moving up, with his own Dragoons, trying to flank in a location there. Wow, JangBi should have way more production than he's showing here. He has such a huge economic lead. Frozean doing very good timing attack, trying to neutralize everything he has. Those tanks in jeopardy as soon as they come out of that stasis field. Arbiter and Dragoon should be able to take it out fairly soon. Frozean moving out a little bit back, but only a short distance back, losing those forward units. Has a turret there, has some tanks, another stasis going off. And I think JangBi is going to be able to break out of this contain. Now some mines going off of some ground forces, take them out. Frozean even moving in with more vultures and more tanks again, trying to prevent this as much as he can. Has some Goliaths that are shoot off and force those arbiters backwards a little bit. Frozean trying to hold this forward position that he has. If he manages to hold it, he should be able to reinforce it fairly soon. Although, of course, he doesn't have quite as much production going. He now has, meanwhile, taken down a base at the 9 o'clock. For JangBi also taken down a base at the 7 and half o'clock, something like that. 6 and a half o'clock. No, 7, yeah, no. 5 o'clock half. 5 and a half. Dark Temple meanwhile out for JangBi to go run around and see whether he can do any economic damage. Well, I think there are enough turrets in place to prevent that. More turrets being put down by SCVs. Meanwhile, for Frozean, Frozean manages to keep his forward position. Although JangBi should be able to produce enough Dragoons and Arbiters at this point, try to push out. Meanwhile, a tank moving at that 6 o'clock position, probably going to siege and try to take out as many of those probes as it can. Going to start by sieging on those gas mining probes. Meanwhile, now JangBi again trying to move out. Seeing some map movement for both. Of course, Frozean, despite having less production, is actually controlling the map, has map control at this point, although JangBi does have some expansions in locations that Frozean can't focus on at this moment. If he actually managed to take those out, this would be pretty bad. Meanwhile, now Dark Temple going to meet that tank that's been sieging the 6 o'clock location. That tank has taken out a pretty decent amount, but vultures at that exact moment as the tank dies move in and do some damage with their own tanks. Meanwhile, cannons being put out of the location. An observer going out into the main of Frozean, taking it down, trying to spot the location as much as he can. JangBi at this point has to do some serious damage to Frozean's production. Now going to move in. Ronaldo going to think of a recall. We'll see what the recalls. No, he's not going to recall the 9 o'clock position. Go straight for the main. Going to try to take out some heavy mining and some production. Has a bunch of Dragoons and several Zealots ready just for that purpose. Recall going to go off right into the main. Aim right at all those. There's almost nothing there really to take out. The commands are not important, but he's going to focus on the supply. Take out as many supply depots as they can. Also taking out some turrets there. We're going to see he has an Arbiter to support him. Almost nothing to defend for Frozean. We're going to see what some of the damage does. Meanwhile, Frozean countering at that 6 o'clock position. Has some vultures and that tanks there. A lot of damage being done by both players. Both players, of course, know each other fairly well. Know each other's playstyle. Some siege tanks there in location for Frozean to try to siege those Dragoons as well as they can. He has some scans to use. 2 weapons, 2 upgrades for those tanks, as well as weapons, 1 upgrades. Meanwhile, the armories have been taken care of by JangBi, so he's going to stop those upgrades. I'm not sure how well his forces are. Losing some Zealots there to some mine drags. Meanwhile, the 6 o'clock location has been neutralized by Frozean. He's done a pretty good job there. We're going to see whether he moves towards the 5 o'clock position at this point. Meanwhile, JangBi is going to take out the science facility. There haven't been any science facilities really out for Frozean at this point, so that science is a loss for him. Meanwhile, forces moving towards that 5 and a half o'clock position for Frozean. Going to try to take that out. Some Arbiters being shot at by some Goliaths, but overall pretty much taking out tanks, trying to siege. Going to see how much damage they manage to do, trying to just block off those Dragoons as long as they can. Mines being planted, but the vultures all get taken down. Some of the cannons being taken out by those. I'm sorry, some of the cannons being taken out by those tanks, but overall not too much. Storming there going off, not doing too much. JangBi still inside of the main of Frozean, trying to do as much damage as he can. He's too afraid of moving in because then he's going to walk right into the line of a turret, instantly going to be sieged. The Arbiter flying around, scan going off again. Those Dragoons going to be sieged. We're going to see whether JangBi has taken a lot of supply depots off Frozean, so Frozean should be in a pretty much supply trouble at this point. First science says, oh no, we're going to see what it does. What he manages to get off an EMP or defensive matrix or something of that kind. Meanwhile, now some tanks moving in, being engaged, trying to engage as many of the Dragoons as they can. Finally, this gets cleared out there for JangBi. Has nothing but a Arbiter. Meanwhile, JangBi now breaking out, trying another breakout, moving in from a 2-brand down from 2 locations, moving out from the ramp upstairs. Now going to probably break this container. Okay, the container has been broken. Now should be able to break those that tank and turret positioning. Those tanks trying to siege as well as they can, but all in all going to get taken out. And JangBi now has broken the contain, doing a pretty good job, not losing too many Arbiters, or actually not losing any Arbiters. Stasising a Science Souls before he manages to get off an EMP. But one turret meanwhile does take out an Arbiter before he manages to take. The Arbiter manages to take out the turret. Another stasis view going off a couple of tanks and a vulture. JangBi doing overall very good job. Now moving out of his ace. Well, he is the ace, but anyway, kind of. Now moving out, and at the 9 o'clock, and as soon as that got damaged, Frozean has GG'd. Wow. Wow, actually at one point in the game, I wasn't so sure. Frozean did a pretty good timing push and set up a pretty decent positioning, but he didn't manage to do any real damage with that, unfortunately. Didn't really push into the base of JangBi. JangBi managed to hold that off as long as was necessary, and then managed to get up enough troops to break the contain and then just go around and do some damage. Frozean did a pretty good job also running around doing some damage, but overall it was far too late. JangBi had gotten so many bases going. JangBi, of course, such a good player, especially against Terrans. He knows the timing, he knows what to do, when to do, how to do, and you know, you should overall be able to clean this up fairly soon. Good performance by Frozean, I must say, but I just think he was very unlucky in getting his teammate JangBi in the round of 16 against him. He probably knew that as soon as he moved out of group, he saw, oh man, I'm going to be facing JangBi. Ah, Craposaurus Rex. But now he's 2 games again. JangBi away. JangBi sitting next to Stork there. Frozean not joining them due to the fact JangBi and Frozean are opponents here. But Stork is also going to have a game against Quanro fairly soon, a player of CJ Entis fame. So even more close-ups, Overall, fairly good job. Well done by both players. Very good by JangBi for managing to pull out of there. So GG guys, and ranching out.